Tonight, pressure at the pumps.
I can't afford to get gas in London. It's $1.85 right now.
Drivers willing to go the distance in search of fuel price relief. Plus, seeking new patients.
I came to Canada around 7 years ago, and I just recently found a family doctor.
The London Clinic expanding services through international recruitment.
Welcome on board the Integrity spacecraft.
And en route in outer space.
The systems, though, are performing very well. We anticipate that they continue to.
Checking in with the Orion spacecraft after the Artemis mission's day one.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with rising gas prices ahead of the long weekend. A litre of regular fuel hit $1.85 at stations in London today. But as Brian Bicknell reports, there are better deals if you're willing to leave the city.
Vehicles at every pump and drivers coming from out of their way for this. $148.9 per liter at Little Arrows, Oneida First Nation.
This is a special trip. This is my once-a-month trip, literally just for gas to come out here. And I don't know. I can't afford to get gas in London. It's $1.85 right now that I drove past.
On my truck, I'm saving about $30 on a $150 fill-up. And this little car here, I'm probably saving about $22.
Gas bar manager Haley Young says drivers are flocking here for the no-tax First Nation gas and filling up anything they can pump fuel into.
We've had people fill up huge, big gas things. They, like sit in the back of their truck. So they're filling up, a guy filled up $1,000 worth of gas not too long ago, and that's pretty usual down here.
Meanwhile, in London, regular was selling for nearly $1.85.
Used to spend $60 to fill mine and would fill it. Now I just put 60 in this morning and I think I got just over half a tank. So it's not cool.
Everyone on the road is feeling the pain at the pumps, but those in the transportation business say it is especially hard to scratch out a living right now.
Sometimes you make $80 or $70. You post gas for $30, you go home for $30, and the lease of the car is $75 a day.
The price hikes are being fueled by the war in the Middle East, and one industry analyst says we haven't seen the worst of it.
Prices already going up because of oil's jump earlier this week. Now oil prices up another $10 a barrel. Canada's average diesel price just under the record set back in 2022. Diesel prices will likely set a new record in Canada in the next 48 hours, climbing above $2.25.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
We are nearly 24 hours into the Artemis II mission, a full day in orbit for local astronaut Jeremy Hansen and his crewmates. That mission is about to kick into high gear, preparing for an engine burn that will set them on course for the moon. With more, here's John Venevalley-Rao.
3, 2, 1, booster ignition.
After a picture-perfect launch and 8-minute ride into space, part of which was captured out the window of a passenger jet.
Welcome on board the Integrity spacecraft.
The astronauts have had a very productive first day in orbit, checking systems while simulating a rendezvous with another spacecraft and making course adjustments.
The systems, though, are performing very well. We anticipate that they continue to.
Great job, Victor.
The astronauts have noted that it is cold in the capsule, which is being addressed. And initially, there was a problem with a lone toilet on board, but that has been fixed, with officials saying glitches are expected, given this is the first time humans have ever flown in the Orion spacecraft.
You can expect that with such a complex systems along the mission, different little anomalies will blip up and down and they'll be resolved. That's part of the course.
Following a 6-minute engine burn today, it will take the astronauts 4 days to get to the moon. Once there, they'll loop around it, with some hoping they'll capture on Monday a stunning view like this of the Earth rising from behind the moon.
I know that they're really going to try to make that happen. I can't give you a confirmation on that yet, but stay tuned.
And yeah, it's a tiny space. It's about the size of a camper van.
In a pre-recorded video, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen showed just how tight the interior of the capsule is. The 4 astronauts have sleeping bags that can be tethered to the spacecraft walls. And during the trip, they'll test exercise gear, which will be important to long missions in space.
They're taking a very small piece of equipment called a flywheel, and so they're going to be doing exercise every single day.
The astronauts describing the view from space as phenomenal as they head to the moon.
And we will likely hear directly from Hansen this weekend during a video chat from space. John Venavalli-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
Good evening. We've had some cloudy skies today and periods of rainfall. Areas towards the Bruce Peninsula under a heavy rainfall warning, and east of Georgian Bay and north of that dealing with freezing rain in parts of northern Ontario and winter storm conditions on the northern edge of this system. We'll say on the mild side, the temperatures are going to rise as we head through the late evening, and overnight we'll have a round of showers and thunderstorms move through the area through the overnight as well. Gusty winds expected for your Friday, but extremely mild. I'll take you through that forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks, Julie. As Arcade Street Mission scales back services for homeless Londoners, a city councillor is pressing for answers about what she describes as a patchwork funding model. With more, here's Daryl Newcomb.
Arcade Street Mission has closed 50 overnight beds and is gradually reducing daytime services at 696 Dundas Street from 20 to 24 hours a day to just 4, after its core funding dropped by more than $1 million with the end of a federal program distributed by City Hall.
It's not like we're telling them we're closing, but you can go here, here, and here. There isn't another place to send people.
Councillor Susan Stevenson, who opposes overnight shelter beds and additional frontline agencies on the main streets of business districts, says she thought the whole of community response to homelessness was supposed to oversee the approach to services for homeless Londoners.
Where is the oversight and leadership on this issue? Where is the appropriate place to provide service? And are we meeting that need? Are we prioritizing it? It seems very patchwork.
Stevenson is frustrated by the financial crises at agencies that seem to arise over and over, year after year.
As a governance body, we shouldn't be surprised continually by these pleas of shortfalls. It should be planned out well in advance. Agencies should know when their funding is temporary, when programs are expected to end, and when there's expected to be continued funding.
This crisis is going to keep happening if we don't look to the longer term solutions. I think what's important to know is that over $38 million has been spent in this short-term kind of funding across the last number of years for things like winter response and the services that we provide here at the ARC. And so maybe we could begin to anticipate as a community that those dollars do exist.
According to City Hall's dashboard, there are more than 2,000 Londoners currently experiencing homelessness, and more than a third of them are considered high needs. At the same time, experience shows that as the weather warms up, the number of homeless individuals climbs. The ARC has 50 to 70 people through the doors at any given time and averages 400 unique individuals on weekends when other services are closed.
The distress our community is feeling as they're learning about it will only be mirrored by the business community and the public, who are then going to see that visible frustration on the streets of London.
So is there going to be a request for council to renew contracts coming on the April 13th Community and Protective Services Committee? I don't know.
Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
A former downtown London office tower has officially been transformed. After 2 years of renovations, it is now an apartment building. As Sean Irvin reports, with 94 units now move-in ready, it's the largest office to residential conversion in the city.
From the outside, this building retains its 1970s office tower stature. But inside, meeting rooms have been replaced by the comforts of home. Following a 2-year renovation, its 80,000 square foot interior now features 94 apartments, 88 of which are one-bedroom units. Some are fully accessible, and many have unmatched views of the downtown core. Each is also designed to be affordable, with rents ranging from $1,100 to $2,000 a month.
And we've got it 40% affordable, and about 60% will be market.
This ribbon cutting is the final piece in a partnership that made it all happen. The concept began with the generosity of Sifton Properties, which donated the building, the Anglican Diocese of Huron that owns the land it sits on, and funding allocations from governments. Overseeing it all is Homes Unlimited, a nonprofit operator of multiple developments in the city. It will also carry the long-term lease offered by the church.
We've now agreed to a new 60-year lease for this beautiful property, transformed into incredible housing, and we all know the need for housing here in London.
Beyond the funding partnership, the building itself presented multiple challenges to bring it up to code.
It's not one detail, it's thousands of details. Lots of things have to be changed and repurposed.
But thanks to the collective effort of many, this tower will welcome its first tenants beginning late next month.
We saw a need, a vision, and everybody rallied behind it in order to come to what we have today.
The mayor views the project as a key part of the future of downtown London.
Places not just for people to live, but for people to live affordably as well.
And in dignity, as the church stated. It was a point echoed by MP Peter Fragascatos.
To Homes Unlimited and to the Archdiocese, grounded in values. That's what your work is all about. Christian values, yes, but I will also say that these are universal values, universal human values.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
We're continuing our coverage of London councillor Elizabeth Pelosa and her health journey battling cancer. In this week's edition of Healing in the Public Eye, she documents her changing appearance and feelings of isolation while going through chemotherapy.
Just for perspective, on day 27 of chemotherapy treatment, this is what we have left. So it's time. It comes to the time that it was bulge on the middle, scruffy on the outside. Physically, it was feeling like hot flashes just for your head, and knowing how the hair was presenting itself when I was out doing city business or out. I want to take my head covering off because I was so hot, but couldn't comfortably with knowing how it looked. So now that it's been shaved, I can help regulate my temperature like that. I'm fine with how it looks. When it's breezy out, I can easily put a headscarf covering on. It's beauty standards, and this is my beauty standard right now. I'm okay with it. Heart echocardiogram might be required. They've just adjusted my medication again. We're back to trying to find the right system. Got a new one. We'll see how it goes. There was some pain last night, and just the pain really rotates between, if we're going to be honest, and I started this process to be honest with viewers, that you'll go from potentially like mouth sores are a big one, sores on your tongue, had burning at the top of like the back of your throat. So when you tried to start swallowing, it hurt. Then one of my big ones has been this section in here of pain. My kids are growing, and these are still memories that you might only get to have once. So getting to see them is really important. So just anyone who you see who's out using a mask, like just please know that they're either caring from someone immunocompromised or they are themselves, and just give them that buffer when they're out or asked to approach.
How isolating is it?
Very. I'm lucky, and I recognize the privilege that I can work from home, and so many people don't have that, and trying to use that to the best of my ability, realizing if I do go out and I get sick and I don't have an immune system, I am pushing treatment back potentially months.
Lonely?
I am lonely. Thanks, Daryl, for coming to visit.
A London health clinic is expanding rapidly, recruiting physicians from all over the world in the midst of a family doctor shortage. Rita Ismail has more on the impact this could have for local access to primary care.
Thompson Medical Center has brought in a wave of new doctors, many of them trained internationally, and is now accepting thousands of new patients. That includes physicians like Inam Khan, who moved to London from the UK last year, drawn by new opportunities in Canada's healthcare system.
The doctors over there, they are overworked, they are paid less, they are not compensated properly. You're quite limited with the options of expanding your practice. Over here, you have more opportunities. You can expand your practice, you can do as many hours as you want, and you are sort of paid well.
The clinic says recent changes by the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario have made it easier for doctors trained in countries like the UK and US to practice here, helping accelerate recruitment efforts. Still, bringing physicians into a new healthcare system comes with its own challenges.
When we're recruiting these physicians, we're going through an extensive process to ensure that they are qualified to practice here in Canada. Now, with physicians from multiple countries, everyone knows the medicine when it comes to physicians, and they all have 5+ years experience, the doctors that we're bringing on here. Now, the thing that they're not experienced is in the Canadian healthcare system, and that's where we as TMC come into play.
For patients, the impact is already being felt.
I came to Canada around 7 years ago, and I just recently found a family doctor. So my entire time here, I was going to walk-in clinics.
The clinic expects its newest physicians will take on tens of thousands of patients over the coming months, part of a broader effort to reduce the number of Londoners without a family doctor. Patients can apply directly online, in person, or register through Ontario's Healthcare Connect program. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Fire crews in Sarnia say they were called to Blue Water Health last night. They say the call came in around 7 p.m. and they found a fire confined to a single room. According to fire crews, it was extinguished quickly. A patient and 3 nurses were also treated for smoke inhalation. Fire officials say there's no damage estimate at this point, and the Ontario Fire Marshal has been notified. Police in Huron County say they're looking for a suspect they describe as armed and dangerous. According to police, 38-year-old Kent Wall is from Bruce County. They say he's most likely armed after fleeing police in Exeter earlier today. Police say he stole a white pickup truck, which was last seen near Sanctuary Line between Clinton and Seaforth. According to police, he may be in the Belgrave area, and members of the public are advised not to approach him or the vehicle. London police say they've charged a 17-year-old boy with impaired driving after a pedestrian was hit. According to police, the crash happened last night around 9 p.m. near Dundas and Quebec Street, and the suspect was arrested nearby. Police say the pedestrian who was hit suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. A Brampton man will serve a 12-year prison sentence for his role in a 2023 Richmond Row shooting. That sentence was handed down today and includes credit for time already served. Ramon Bowen's lawyer had argued for an 11-year sentence. Crown lawyers wanted 16 years. He was previously convicted of aggravated assault for shooting 27-year-old Andrew Canoon 8 times, which left him in hospital for nearly 3 months. The shooting happened in August 2023 following an altercation in a parking lot off Richmond. We're getting an idea at what a multi-million-dollar agricultural science center could look like, currently under development in Listowel. However, as Scott Miller reports, there's still a long way to go and a lot of money to raise before it becomes a reality.
Momentum is building with the release of what Canada's first agricultural science centre will look like when it is built in a now empty farmer's field on the edge of Listowel.
We're elated that we're at this stage. We've got the land, we've now got a design of what it could be.
The Ontario Agri-food Discovery Centre, formerly known as the Huron-Perth Ag Science Centre, is a multi-million-dollar idea to highlight the connection between science and agriculture that makes southern Ontario one of the most agriculturally productive regions in the world.
We're the #1 driver of our economy in Ontario, and we don't really get recognized for that well enough.
Dolson envisions a facility that highlights the evolving technological advancements in food production, educating school children and families spring to fall, while hosting agribusiness for training and conferences during the slower winter season.
1 in 9 people in Canada are employed in the agri-food industry. That's something very few people really understand, that there are so many exciting jobs, exciting careers in agriculture and food. And that's one thing that this centre will expose the young people to.
But a project like this will not come cheap. What started off as a modest $14 million proposal to build this facility has more than doubled in size and tripled in cost to now more than $50 million.
The capital campaign could get started in 2027 with the hope that would run for about 2 years. Once we know the level of support, how much of the phase development we could go after to have a facility start. building in 29, opening the end of 2030.
Funding from all levels of government, agri-food businesses, retailers, even farmers themselves will be required to make the Ontario Agri-Food Discovery Centre a reality.
We know it's a big project. It's going to be a destination for people across southwestern Ontario to want to come to learn through interactive exhibits about today's modern agriculture.
In Listowel, Scott Miller, CTV News.
There's 1 week left to get tickets in the Dream Home Lottery supporting local hospitals. And for more on this, we're heading out to Grand Bend, joining Lauren Stallone live on location tonight at one of the prize show homes. Lauren, over to you.
Thanks, Carlyle. It's the 30th anniversary of Dream Home Lottery this year, and there's plenty of prizes to mark the special occasion. But before we get to that, I am joined by Chris Boucher with LHSF. Now, Chris, tell us a little bit about where the money raised goes towards.
Thanks, Lauren. The money raised from Dream Lottery goes directly to patient care at London hospitals. So London Health Sciences Centre, Children's Hospital, and St. Joseph's Healthcare London.
And we're in this beautiful home tonight. Tell us a little bit about this prize and some of the other prizes people can win.
Yeah, so this home is one of the grand prizes. Absolutely amazing dream home built by Magnus Homes up here in Grand Bend in the new Soul Haven neighborhood. It's got a sauna, it's got a cold plunge, it's got natural elements to it, wonderful amenities, a huge back porch, and it's really a dream home. We also have a dream home in Dorchester, as well as the $1 million cash option is also a grand prize.
And where can people go if they're looking to purchase tickets, and how long is that available for?
So people can go to dreamit.winit.ca to buy their tickets and get them quickly before they're gone, because every year we sell out. Or they can come to the homes. And you can go to dreamit.winit.ca to see the locations and to visit the homes. They're open from all weekend from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Chris. Go get your tickets. It's not too late. I'll send it back to you, Carlyle.
Thank you very much, Lauren. When we come back, footing the bill for ballooning defense spending. Could the federal government increase the GST to cover the cost?
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
Report on Canada's defense spending plans suggests a hike to the GST may be necessary to pay for those increases. With more on the findings and their implications, here's Judy Trin.
Canada plans to spend much more on defense. It needs to replace aging submarines, to buy new fighter jets, and build up Arctic security. Investments that come with a huge bill.
It won't be easy, and I think that this is part of the discussion that Canadians need to have.
After more than a decade, Canada finally reached 2% of GDP spending in 2025, but NATO members have now set a 5% target for 2035. That means spending $150 billion a year.
We embarked on this mission to protect Canadians, to defend our territory, to protect our borders, and to boost our sovereignty. Because nous sommes maîtres chez nous. We control our destiny.
By 2035, the federal government could spend as much on defense as it does on provincial transfer payments for healthcare and education. The C.D. Howe Institute says the government needs to increase the GST rate of 5% to 6%, or even back up to 7%.
There's a compromise solution that exists that involves a little bit of increase to the GST, so perhaps 1 percentage point or 2 percentage points, and then some decrease in the growth rate of other forms of government spending, in particular transfers to the provinces, is something that we should discuss.
Although the government launched a defense industrial strategy to build more weapons to export to other countries, it may not be enough.
Are there likely going to be positive spillover effects from that plan? Yes. Are they going to be sufficient to pay for the entire increase in defense spending? Most certainly not.
If the government decides it doesn't want to raise taxes, it could borrow money, which means sinking further into debt. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Julie Atchison on the desk with me now. Another cool and rainy day. It's been sort of the wrong side of the spring spectrum, I would say, today.
Agreed. Today the winds were out of the east too, and they had that raw, damp, cold feel. The warm front has been slow to arrive today, so it's been taking its time. We had this area of rainfall develop out ahead of that boundary. That's what we picked up earlier in the day. We still have some showers moving through parts of Midwestern Ontario and the potential for some heavy rainfall north of the city. Now we'll get into some scattered showers and thunderstorms in London overnight. Early tomorrow, though, things start to quiet down. As we take a look at the satellite radar, I really want you to focus on that pink, that freezing rain that's well off to the north. Some significant ice accretion to the north and northeast of Georgian Bay. We had a little bit of freezing rain today towards the Bruce Peninsula, but that's transitioning rather to rainfall. Now, I mentioned this warm front that's coming in tonight, so it will continue to lift northward, the surface front. So that's the leading edge of the warm air. That puts us into the warm sector overnight. So what that means for us is temperatures are going to climb overnight. Watch for some fog out there as well. Scattered showers and thunderstorms expected to develop through the overnight and into early tomorrow morning. So you could wake up to some thunder. As we take a look at the satellite radar, again, this frontal boundary continuing to drive in for your Friday. Interestingly enough, Friday will be one of those days where we'll start with that rainfall, and then by the afternoon we break into sunshine. So I think you're going to be excited. Friday afternoon's forecast looks fantastic. Winds will be out of the southwest, quite gusty at times, upwards of about 60 kilometers per hour. So it'll be warm, windy, and we even could have a humidex tomorrow afternoon. Overnight, look at the temperatures. So think about today, we were in the low single digits. Overnight, we come up between 11 and 15 degrees, so a major change. Sarnia could hit 16 overnight. Across the country, quickly, Western Canada, we're dealing with some cooler air and temperatures well below normal. Northern Ontario, heavy snowfall warnings in effect with winter storm warnings as well. And as we head out east tonight, temperatures from 0 to -4. We'll stay on the mild side of this system to start. Friday, extreme warmth. Then on Saturday, the temperatures dip a bit, and Sundays are cool down. So we're going to go like this. In terms of the next 36 hours, the showers and thunderstorms at daybreak, and then by the afternoon, sunshine will break into a mix of sun and cloud. The showers will wind down, and the probability drops down to about a 20% chance Friday afternoon. Then Friday night, increasing cloud cover very late into the early morning hours, and then we bring back the rainfall into Saturday. And you can see the showers starting to bubble up on that forecast model. Rainfall totals with this rain coming through overnight will generally be under 10 millimeters across most of the region, with the exception of the area under the rainfall warning. The northern part of that Bruce Peninsula could see close to 30 millimeters of rain. We'll hit about 22 degrees tomorrow afternoon, warm with nice sunny breaks to carry us through the latter half of the day. 15 with rain on Saturday, mainly cloudy on Easter Sunday. So the forecast has been back and forth all week with how much sun we're going to get on Easter Sunday. Late this afternoon, forecast models brought back that cloud and about a 30% chance of some mixed precipitation in the afternoon. Hopefully we'll get through the day dry. 3 degrees on Monday, mainly cloudy, and then a mix of sun and cloud Tuesday, Wednesday, with a rebound heading into Wednesday night. Thursday, as temperatures are set to climb back above normal. Midwestern Ontario, showers, gusty winds overnight, and then first thing in the morning, and then ending cloudy with breaks as we head into the afternoon, a mix of sun and cloud. A warm wind tomorrow. You'll feel the change coming. Temperatures, as I mentioned, in the mid-20s in some areas, feeling quite warm. Talking about a bit of a humidex, and then rain in the forecast on Saturday. The cool air moves back in for Easter Sunday, and temperatures will be quite cool for those egg hunts. We could see some snow mixing in on Sunday. Mainly cloudy on Monday as we head through the day, and then back to some sunshine later in the week. Carlyle?
Thanks very much, Julie. Still ahead, a real estate rebound. The latest local numbers showing an increase in sales and prices.
Pure Country 93. London's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's Big 50K Payday.
It's time to see what the noise is about, London. Don't miss Stomp, coming to Candlelight Place on Thursday, April 16th. Celebrating 30 years of unforgettable performances. Enter online at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to win a pair of tickets.
Stellantis officials are reportedly in early talks about building electric vehicles in Canada with a Chinese partner. Multiple sources tell CTV News the automaker is looking at options for its idle assembly plant in Brampton, which includes building EVs with a Chinese tech company in which Stellantis has a 20% stake. If this goes ahead, it would be the first major Chinese auto investment in Canada since Prime Minister Mark Carney rolled back tariffs on EVs made in China. A union representative says a bare-bones assembly plant for Chinese-made electric vehicles would not meet the automaker's commitments to workers. Home sales in our region picked up last month. According to the London and St. Thomas Realtors Association, 586 homes sold in March compared to 410 in February. March sales were also up 4% compared to the same month in 2025. Elstar officials say the region's average sale price also increased just under $630,000. High oil prices are starting to impact the travel sector, increasing the cost of jet fuel. That means if you haven't locked in summer travel plans at this point, flying somewhere in the months ahead is going to cost more. Pat Foran reports.
If you've been thinking about taking an airline trip this spring or summer but haven't bought tickets yet, the Flight Center says get ready to pay more.
We have seen rising jet fuel prices driving up costs for airfare. So this will now impact Canadians.
There could be a separate line for a fuel surcharge, or it may just be a more expensive ticket. Airlines are also rerouting planes away from the conflict in the Middle East. And for some international flights, that will add hundreds of dollars per ticket.
So instead of a $1,600 flight over the Middle East through to the Philippines, you're now going to be paying around $2,000. So this is also adding to the pressures of airfare prices right now.
Some cruise ships have also started raising their prices.
I do expect a domino effect. I'm sure all the major cruise lines, including the small river boats, they will start to introduce fuel surcharges real soon.
For Canadians who have already made their summer travel plans, there's been a major increase in bookings to Portugal, the Netherlands, Italy, and Japan. Some travelers are also looking for more budget-friendly locations.
That could be South America. It can also be Central America, Panama, Belize. I personally am looking at Mexico.
Canadians are still avoiding U.S. travel, citing the political climate, border hassles, safety security concerns, and the exchange rate. There has been an increase in domestic bookings, especially in Atlantic Canada and Alberta. If the conflict continues, expect travel costs to remain high.
As long as the situation is uncertain in the Middle East, we do not anticipate that airfare prices will be decreasing.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Toys R Us Canada has been granted court permission to put itself up for sale. A judge has approved a process which will see the retailer solicit investments in the company or choose a buyer by June. The retailer did not specifically outline what it will be selling, but has stated in court records its assets are valued at $126 million. The company filed for creditor protection in February, an effort to address mounting debts and lawsuits from suppliers and landlords. Canada's main stock index was up on strength in energy stocks as the price of oil moved higher. The TSX gained 50 points. In New York, the Dow fell 61. The Nasdaq added 38. The Canadian dollar is down 0.15 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold dropped more than $130 an ounce. Oil gained more than $11 a barrel. Coming up, a battle with body image. The local health concerns over social media contributing to rising eating disorder cases. Welcome back. Local health experts are raising concerns about social media and its effects on young people, contributing to rising eating disorder cases. With more on the local impact, here's Lauren Stallone.
Nearly a decade ago, Claire Tamaga was rushed to the emergency room when her parents noticed something was wrong.
The eating disorder made me a very angry person, and that's definitely not who I am.
After experiencing symptoms of an eating disorder, Tamaga was admitted as an inpatient at the Children's Hospital at London Health Sciences Centre.
I didn't want to be there. I was angry with the team and their efforts.
Now, Tamaga is in a much healthier place, crediting her recovery to the health professionals at LHSC.
The biggest thing that I've gained back is really my personality, my love for life, and just being involved in so much around me that I had totally missed out on when the eating disorder just clouds your vision.
To mark Child and Adolescent Eating Disorder Awareness Day, the Children's Health Foundation at LHSC is highlighting a growing number of cases.
One of the biggest changes that we saw probably was during COVID-19 pandemic, where there's evidence that a lot of patients, due to the fact that they were spending more time at home and had more exposure to social media, the numbers starting rising.
Health professionals say evidence suggests social media promotes unrealistic body image expectations.
All this information coming from different places without being properly assessed or accurately assessed are definitely affecting the prevalence and the incidence on eating disorders in child and adolescents.
They say it is crucial for health practitioners and parents to teach their children healthy habits when it comes to social media consumption, something Tamaga has learned over time.
What I've learned is that I just need to keep scrolling.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Canada's Supreme Court will not hear an appeal challenging the constitutionality of the first-past-the-post electoral system. Under that system, the candidate who receives the most votes in a given riding becomes the Member of Parliament. Several groups have argued it violates the Charter guarantee of effective representation. The Ontario Superior Court dismissed the challenge in 2023, saying a proportional representation system would be a fair alternative to the current approach. It is not required by the Charter, though. A new study is raising questions about dementia risk and why diet recommendations on that front might not apply to everyone. A large-scale Harvard University study published last year linked processed red meat consumption to a higher risk of dementia alongside other health concerns. But new research out of Sweden focused on a particular subset of adults who had genetic profiles common among Alzheimer's patients. Among those individuals, the study found there was actually a reduced risk of a dementia diagnosis if they were also in the group that consumed the most meat. The findings were published in JAMA Network Open, and the authors say further research is crucial to confirm the observational findings.
We are excited and counting down to the long holiday weekend. We're joined by Weaver from Afternoons on Pure Country. I'm excited for Easter weekend. I know lots of people will be doing some celebrating, however you do that with your family and friends. But there's so many things to get to this weekend, starting on Thursday night with some live music.
We get to celebrate Thursday with a Juno Award-winning artist. Asa Nabi won 2 Junos in the Juno Awards in Hamilton last weekend. He's at Aeolian Hall Thursday night for a fantastic concert.
Now, it wouldn't be Easter without egg hunts, and there are a couple going on. Now, tell us one. This one's for the dogs.
Yeah. When have you ever seen an Easter egg hunt for the dogs? Okay, maybe you've seen it 27 times before, because this is the 28th annual service dog Easter egg hunt happening at the Plunkett Estate Friday morning.
What a great way to spend some time with your pup and hunt for some eggs. Now, if you're taking the kids on an egg hunt, there's also one going on at Storybook Gardens. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there are 2 time slots available, and you can register for your time slot online. That's where you can take your kids out to hunt some eggs. So if, the Easter Bunny perhaps might be a bit early to your home on Friday if you want to kick it off with that. There's a spring market going on this weekend, which is great timing for Easter weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Spring cleaning is already underway, so you've got the clutter out. Now you can bring in some new stuff into your house, and the Spring Arts and Crafts Show at the JR Expo Center at Western Fair District is the perfect place to do so.
All right, and there's some live music kicking it off, as you mentioned, at Aeolian Hall, but there's also a couple concerts going on as we head into Saturday.
Saturday, Goo Goo Dolls, Canada Life Place, downtown London, and I don't want the world to see. I'm sorry, Julie, every time I sing is the last time they allow me to sing, but that concert is going to be absolutely phenomenal for fans of 90s music and beyond. On top of that, who doesn't love Bon Jovi? Classic albums live, Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. That's at Centennial Hall.
I'm so excited. I'm going to the Goo Goo Dolls concert. That's what I got my kids for Easter.
Nice.
So, yes, well, my teenagers, we're going to go and rock out to the Goo Goo Dolls. I love the 90s, and I love how it's had this huge resurgence recently.
Absolutely. I hope your family sings better than I do.
Maybe. All right, that's your London List with Weaver. We'll see you next time, and have a wonderful weekend.
Tomorrow, a special Good Friday edition of CTV News in conversation with the city's decision makers from all corners of the community. It's Leading London tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
Major swings in terms of our temperature this weekend, heading into Friday afternoon feeling like the mid to upper 20s, and by Sunday back into the low single digits. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for sending your photo in. Wishing everyone a wonderful Easter weekend.
The Pope began 4 days of Easter events at the Vatican today. It started with a ceremonial mass, which included a homily where Pope Leo warned against abusing power and the desire for domination, calling for unity and peace in what he called this dark hour of history. He will preside over the Good Friday procession at Rome's Colosseum tomorrow, followed by a late-night Easter vigil Saturday, leading into Easter Sunday. President Donald Trump has removed Pam Bondi as the U.S. Attorney General. He made the announcement on a social media post, naming the previous Deputy Attorney General as her acting replacement. Bondi was a Trump loyalist, enduring a contentious tenure while upending the Justice Department's culture of independence. There's been speculation Bondi was removed for failing to bring Trump's perceived enemies to trial. Lego has unveiled a new collaboration with some of the biggest names in soccer ahead of the World Cup. The toy maker is introducing new sets featuring Argentina's Leo Messi, Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo, France's Kylian Mbappe, and Brazil's Vinicius Jr. There are 7 sets in total, including 2 enhanced legend models for Messi and Ronaldo specifically, ranging in price from $40 to $100 Canadian. A new initiative began in Toronto today, teaching young people about financial literacy. As Rahim Ladani reports, organizers are trying to make it easy by using language the students will actually understand.
Running plays on the hard court, but instead of X's and O's, these students are learning dollars and cents.
We did an activity where it was business building blocks, and essentially it's like you had to navigate a business website, find things like invoices.
More than 150 Toronto high school students are spending the day at a financial literacy forum inside Scotiabank Arena, hosted by the Toronto Raptors and Intuit TurboTax.
Content that we offer is very interactive, and so we try to actually bring real-world scenarios to life when teaching personal finance. We partner with sports organizations, whether it's NBA teams or NFL teams.
According to the Financial Resilience Institute, nearly half of Canadians admit they have little to no knowledge of how to file their taxes properly, while 92% of Canadians say financial literacy is lacking in high schools.
I don't think most students are educated on their financial literacy. I do think that there's courses available, like free to learn. For example, right now I'm in accounting.
On the media, they promote like beauty products like Hooded Beauty, and note that these products are like $50 plus. So it's kind of hard to budget that with also like surviving, like buying essentials like food.
This is the first time this initiative has come to Canada, and the idea is simple. Teach real-world money skills using a language students already understand, sports. And who better to give these students first-hand knowledge than former Toronto Raptor Jamal Magloire.
I thought when I was 19, 20, 21, I was invincible. I thought I'd be playing in the NBA forever. And we have to be able to plan for a rainy day. You have to be able to plan not only while you're playing or while your career is standing, but for the next 30 years of our lives.
In this interactive challenge, students are learning how to budget and how taxes work, tailored to Canadian tax law.
Board-to-board work, it's just definitely a lot more tiring than this, and so I like being able to kind of be interactive and learning at the same time.
Nobody makes every shot. And the goal today is for students to be equipped with the financial skills to put them in a better position when real money is on the line. Rahim Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Plan to join us this Saturday, 8 a.m. right here on CTV London for Weekend Spotlight. This week, did you know you can check out movies, lectures, workshops, and more at your local public library? Also, April is Parkinson's Awareness Month. We'll chat with them. And we're heading out on the road to Children's Hospital as we launch another Dream Lottery for the spring. Be sure to catch it 8 a.m. this Saturday. See you then.
There were multiple viewing parties here in London for yesterday's moon launch, including at Fanshawe College among Jeremy Hansen's former Air Cadet Squadron. Hansen joined the squadron when he was 12 years old, spending 7 years in the program, earning his glider pilot license at the age of 17. Many of the young cadets said they're thinking about following in Hansen's footsteps.
It makes me think that this is only one of the many successes that we'll have in this squadron. I think that maybe being part of 614 was part of his route of getting to where he is now. And I'd like to think that there's a lot more that the squadron is going to provide for the world.
I think it's really cool because one day this could be one of us, so it's pretty fun to experience that.
It's a really great connection for these young people to have with Colonel Hansen. I think that he really shows them that the work that they're doing now matters, and that when they commit their minds to a goal, extraordinary things can happen.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.